great future. You know the reason why I call you this. You are expected to start taking charge from now, and that's one of the reasons why we are having this program. I want to also appreciate the teachers of the great now and the great future, in person of every school teachers represented here, especially the guidance and counselor. I'm elated to have you here because you have always been doing what we are doing just for a day. You have always been impacting these children. You have always been counseling them, guiding them in the right step towards their future. So I really appreciate all the guidance and counselors and all the school and the teachers represented here. I think we just go ahead while we get other things on ground, and we will be inviting the first speaker. That's my welcome address. I'm welcoming you, and the most important thing is for you to get focused. Make sure you jot every point down, because it is what will help you for your future. You are the now, like I said, and you are the future. You need to start taking charge from now. So what you'll be hearing are what they call ingredients. The information you need to start taking charge. You are going to be hearing about science, how you're going to be. You have to work out how you be an inventor. You are going to be hearing about commercial courses. These are what you do in classes, in your classes. And you're going to be hearing about skills for job, tool for development. Okay, so that is why we are here. We are here to learn on how to be independent, how to be great in the future. So with that, we want to start with the first speaker because you know, every great man, as regards those who are impacting their world, are always busy at one point or the other and making the impact. They are restless, making the impact to make sure that there is change. The change that we clamor for is really is really accomplished, or is on the process. So with that, I want to welcome immediately my great ambassador of Comedia, Mr. Agoma, and he's going to be speaking on arts for development. That's art class. You know, you have science class, you have commercial class, and you have art class. So he's going to be speaking on art, the creativity you need in art for your future. So let me invite him. Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
I want to say very big thank you for this very, very big privilege. You know, we that are in the talking business, we like talking a lot. And the truth, to give me more time, I'm quite sure I'm talking for about 2 hours. But because of time constraint, like I said, it's not like we're restless. That is not really the exact word to use. But because in our line of work, we find ourselves this time of the year really very busy. We call it our peak period as stand-up comedians. My name is Agoma Awariton, but most of you know me as Oma. Is anybody here that knows me? Oma. Have you heard the name Oma? Gogola is not that far from town. Well, I'm into stand-up comedy. I wrote the first book on stand-up comedy in Nigeria, and I just don't do stand-up comedy. By the grace of God, I have a BA in English, a master's degree in theater arts, and right now I'm still doing my PhD in theater arts. I think it's not just a coincidence that I'm here to do this topic. It's titled Art, Understanding Creativity for Development. That's what I was told. I want to appreciate the Akiodi Foundation. It's really, really
rare to find students wanting to listen to these kind of things regularly, especially coming from people like us. Because unfortunately, out there, it's been made to look like most stand-up comedians, or a lot of us, are not schooled. Well, it seems that way in a sense. It seems that way. But like I said, it's not a coincidence that I'm here. My master's thesis, from where I made this book, is titled Stand-up Comedy, or Comedy as a Tool for Societal Development, a case study of Ali Baba's comedy, from where I transformed it to so that it can be sellable stand-up comedy in Nigeria. But inside there you see stand-up comedy in Nigeria, a critical tool for societal development, which is close to my topic here, understanding creativity for development. Well, I wrote something down which I just want to quickly share. Don't start writing yet. I said, your generation has really taken the bull by the horn to make sure there is genuine transformation, and I mean change that is tenable, palpable, seeable, feelable, and touchable. Before now, when you hear students gather, we hear leaders of tomorrow. But today, going by the theme of this conference, which is we are the now, you are the now, and the future, and the way forward. All I can think about is what has been described as the violence taking it by force. So my advice to you students is to take life step by step, because like a famous literary guru said, if you rise too early, the dew of life will soak you. And you all know what they say about the journey of 1,000 miles. Begins with one step. It's going to be a gradual process. Otherwise, how do you explain students being students, senators, honorable members, ministers, local government chairmen, governors, judges, and even the president, unless you have another explanation for we are the now, we are the future, and we are the way forward, which renders our generation useless. Or you people have planned to eliminate everybody, like General Rawlings did one time in Ghana, to create the way forward. Nobody will blame you anyway, because somebody recently said, since the time of Mohammed, that is Mohammed Buhari, our former president, Babangida, and even Obasanjo, they have been calling youths leaders of tomorrow over 30 years ago. That surprisingly today, those same set of people want to continue leading and calling the youths leaders of tomorrow. When will this your tomorrow come? So that's why we're not surprised that now you are saying you are the now, you are the future, and you are the way forward. So you are all in all. I'm not surprised. I'm quite sure you understand why that is. Because we need to change. We need to move. We need to begin to get things done practically. Let us leave the textbooks. Let us get out of, somebody said, let's get out of the dream. Step out of my dream and get into my life. It's a song. It's creative. It's a song. Say, get out of my dreams, step into my life. So let us get out of our dreams. We've been dreaming for too long. Martin Luther, I have a dream. We have finished the dream since. We want to live life the way we want it to be. Do you understand? And that's why you're here. We need to begin to take the bull by the horn. We need to begin to make changes that are tenable, palpable, like I said, feelable. Changes that we can feel. Don't say, you see, when you paper, we've done too much paperwork. But let me not digress. I'll come back simply to my topic. Art, understanding creativity for development. I like to say, understanding art for development is also not out of place for a paper topic, because art is creativity and creativity is art. Or to be creative is to be artistic, and to be artistic is to be creative. A lot of people have the school of thought of art for art's sake, while others believe in art for life's sake or art for learning's sake. Using my area of strength, stand-up comedy, I'm going to dwell more on that. A lot of people have said stand-up comedians are jobless because, according to them, making people laugh is not a productive job. but we want to quickly add that they have not heard many doctors describe laughter as the best medicine. Has anybody heard that word? Laughter as the best. Anybody? You have heard that, have you? Laughter is the best medicine. When you laugh, what happens? They say it takes how many muscles to frown and how many muscles to smile. So it does you more good when you laugh. It does you more good when you smile. It does you more good when you keep a cheerful face. Isn't that so? That is why we say laughter. Doctors have confirmed laughter is the best medicine for the human body and the soul and the spirit, if I may add. So, a stand-up comedian who is ignorant of his ability to impart knowledge through his jokes is already serving society well. But since no joke is told in a vacuum, that is, the stories are drawn from human experience, even the comedian that does not think is out to develop society is doing so inadvertently. Do you understand what I just said? A comedian comes to tell you a joke. You just laughed, and then you went home. Naturally, you have just laughed. He has come there to make you laugh. His main purpose, get this right, get this straight, most entertainment. Nobody lives here, leaves his house and says he's going to the theater or to a cinema joint, wherever there is entertainment. Say you want to go and, do you go there to go and learn? No, it's not a school, is it? It's not. Everybody goes there for entertainment, pure and simple. So as it is, the learning is accidental. The knowledge you gain is accidental. But whether we like it or not, there is knowledge. And it is that knowledge that is the development that we're talking about. We develop minds. Most times, most people see us, not just comedians, because what? I'm talking theater practitioners now. Music, drama, and dance. Oh, come there, let me just move forward a little. Let me see my paper here. It says, I've done this. A stand-up comedian who is ignorant of it. Okay, I think I've moved beyond that point. It says, so in a sense, I want to believe it's very difficult to isolate art for art's sake from art for learning's sake, as they both are two sides of the same coin. Let us just begin by defining our keywords in the title. Art, understanding creativity for development. Art, that's the topic I was giving. Understanding creativity for development. Art, after art, I have a semicolon. And then understanding creativity for development. So we begin with the word art. We're going to define art, creativity, and of course development. So mainly, I think what we're looking at is art and creativity. Development work and understand. So I'll look up the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary defines art as the use of the imagination to express ideas or feelings. Look at it again. The Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary defines art, A-R-T, as the use of the imagination to express ideas or feelings, particularly in painting, drawing, or sculpture. That's one definition. Another definition in the web is so easy these days to do this kind of job because you just Google anything you want to do, just Google it. You know how to do that. It's very easy to research topics like this, to handle them. Another definition says art is the expression. Anybody didn't get that first definition? Is there anybody that's behind? I can take it again if you want me to. It says art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination.
For disc now.
Art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. Typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. The expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form, such as painting, you all know that now. Expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. So it has to do with creativity, imagination, being skillful, being creative, being imaginative. You have to put your muse to use, get inspired, and these things come out. Whether you're writing poetry, you're painting, you're drawing, you're writing a novel, you're writing a song, whatever it is that you're doing that has to do with the visual arts, the media arts, the literary arts, all of them together, they all have to do with creativity, imagination, skills. You have to take time to build them up. He says, I'll quickly run through again. The expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form, such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. Again, the third definition says, art is the subject of study primarily concerned with human creativity and social life, such as languages, literature, and history, as contrasted with scientific or technical subjects. It says art refers to works of creative expression, simply works of creative expression. Dance, music, drama, painting, drawings, sculpture, all these are works of creative expression. Somebody just stayed somewhere, he got inspiration and came out and started to do what he's doing. You understand? I sit back and each time I tell myself, I want to make you laugh. I just tell myself, what would be most appropriate for this my audience now? I've done lots of jokes, you know. I'm coming here today, I told myself, what joke will I tell you that will make you laugh? You're all too serious right now. So I'll go back to when we were in school. And we had one teacher who now drew on the board, our mathematics teacher. Arithmetic we did then, not mathematics. He drew on the board and painted it. Normally, you know, you just paint the things. Painted it. What is this, class? This is what? What is it? Rectangle. Unfortunately, painted it with red. So he drew the other ones and painted them different color. And then now give the example. You know, they always say the example is easy for the teacher. Class, what is this? Rectangle. Everybody? Rectangle. Respond. Talk to me. Everybody? Rectangle. Everybody? Rectangle. Timothy, come out. Now, identify the other ones. Yeah, teacher, it's very easy now. If this one here, sir, is rectangle, then the other one is blue tangle. The other one is yellow tangle. The other one is brown tangle. And so this one that using this color is colorless tangle. You know, when we're doing arithmetic, our teacher felt it was easy for him to make us learn. We could learn more when we are shown given items. They stole it from nursery or at the better schools. You know, we didn't go to nursery schools. I didn't go to nursery schools. I went to what was called Gari School. You know, like the Amajiri schools. Those were the kind of school I went to. We just carry our slate. Wear one small pant. Wear one big shirt. We are going, our teacher will line us up like, you know, sometimes when they catch madmen, they will line them up on the streets. All of them whole plates. We hold our slate. And we didn't have to carry a lunch box, so our pocket was our lunch box. One buns and fish is inside the pocket. We were singing to school with the teacher. But see, he now thought, for him to make us understand mathematics or arithmetic easily, he needed to do something that he had seen in the Ajabota school. So he came back. They were using apples. You know? So he came back. There they said, 1 apple plus 2 apples is equals what? They said, sir, it's 3 apples. Beautiful. Put your hands together for him or her. 2 apples plus 3 apples. We now felt we didn't understand apples because we never ate apple. I didn't eat apple until I was this old. Until I was maybe about 30 or 30 something. When I was started working, I said, let me go and buy this thing and eat it. Let me see what it tastes like. Apple. I don't go even see the thing just. Let me go and buy one. So I bought one and I ate that. Wow. So we did it. It wasn't our domain at all. So what we were used to were akara. Okay. And brought akara. I got akara and they brought it to class. Class, we could identify. It was our area. Now, 1 akara plus 1 akara is equals what? Everybody. 2 akara. Put your hands together for yourself. Now, 2 akara plus 3 akara is equals what? Timothy. 5 akara. Put your hands together for yourself. Now, 1 akara minus 1 akara is equals what? What do you mean? See, you know those kind of area we grew up in Warri Benin. We didn't used to speak English. You say one akara minus one akara. So now what thing go remain? Now say now oh yeah, Abi. Look at it. Look in the paper yourself. Okay, remove the akara yourself. And the oil. Abi. That was how we learned in arithmetic. And we had one serious mathematics teacher when we were in private. That was when I learned how to read because that man was deaf and dumb to everybody. Once you enter the class, you know those days you enter the class, the class prefect, you call it now, I want to monitor. He will hit the table and you hear everybody will rise. Good morning, sir. We are happy to see you. Our teacher was not like that in primary 3 and he was left-handed. You know left-handed people, they are very wicked. They are, so once he steps in, he used to carry white super bicycle, that was his own car. We just roll it into the class, put it behind the door. The moment he enters the class, the teacher hits his table. We stand up. 2 times, 1, 2, 2. That's our greeting. Don't greet him good morning, sir. He doesn't want it. Just do 2 times till 12 times. Once they hit that thing. 2 times, 1, 2, 2 times, 2, 4. You know, 2 times is smooth, it's easy. 2 times, 3, 6, like that, and we move on. 3 times, 1, 3. Everybody will just be smart. We will carry this bicycle. We will keep it behind the door. We close the door. 4 times, 1, 4. We're going 4 times to 8. We're moving. 5 times, 1, 5. 5 times to 10. We're moving. 6 times, 1, 6. Then we'll get to 7 times. The thing will begin to die down. In front, you know, we had all the brilliant students then used to stay in front. Till tomorrow, isn't it? Everybody, brilliant students stay in front. The ones that are average stay in the middle. The ones that are global that don't know anything, they look for where to hide behind. They shock into corners there. So the thing says, stop! And you know 7 times. What am I hearing? So, what first?